think is most important about managing your team is on the settings tab. This is part of planning. So don't just create a team and not come in here. You definitely need to check this out. So one of the things is you can insert a picture. You could upload a picture. So instead of using the generic square with the initials, like I have with my virtual training company, I uploaded an image. It has to be a small icon image, but you could. But what's most important is this member permissions. If you expand out this member permissions, look at everything that is checked by default. Allow members to create and update channels. Allow members to create private. Allow members to delete and restore channels. Do you really want them to be able to do that? I don't. So usually I come in here and I uncheck a lot of these options because I don't want people to do all of this. There's some things I do keep checked, like towards the bottom where it says give members the option to delete their messages. If I put a post in a channel and I decide I want to delete it, I can delete it because I posted it. Nobody else can. But if you don't want people to be able to delete their posts, you can remove that. So I really want you to spend a little bit of time on the teams that you create and see what permissions you want to give your members, because all of these are checked by default. Be careful. And just so you know, if all of these are checked for members, let's look at the guest permissions. If these are checked, you could also allow guests to create and update channels, and a guest could even delete a channel. But if you remove members from not being able to do it, guests can't do it either. Okay, because members have more rights than guests. But you really want to think about that. I personally don't want that to happen. Owners, yes, they should be able to do all of that, but I don't want my members doing that. Okay. And then also you can manage your @mentions. You've also got a team code. This is what you can share with others to join. But take a look at the fun stuff. By default, you get moderate. So when it comes to filtering out content based on what kind of GIFs and emojis and things like that do you want people to use when they do posts, be careful with allowing too much. Some of this can actually be controlled by your IT department back in the management side of things, but you can control it here for your team, your individual team as well. So if you don't want moderate, you want it to be strict, only being able to use certain things, you can always change that or uncheck things if you don't want them. But this is related to the posts. This is related to the posts. Okay. Now, also up at the top, when it comes to these settings, you have your analytics like we did with the channels. You have your apps tab, and then you also have your tags tab. So this is another place that you could come and create new tags, and tags are related to the @mentions. Okay. And then just a couple of other things to mention when it comes to managing the team itself. I'm going to go back and right click on my marketing department. I could add new channels from here. I could add new members from here. I could leave the team, even though I'm an owner and I'm the only owner right now. I could still leave the team. I wouldn't do that, but just so you know, you could. You would want to have at least one more owner before you leave. Otherwise, your admin for your Microsoft Teams in your IT department, they would have access to it. Otherwise, I could edit the team, and that's the part I want to show you. I'm going to click on Edit Team. I could change the name. So let's say that I decided to spell out the name department. It would automatically update for everybody, and I could update my description or add in a description. And then down at the privacy, if I created it as private, but now that I have it built, I actually want it to be available to everybody, I could click on this drop down and I could turn it into public. Once again, I don't have access to, on this computer, I don't have access to do the org wide. Okay, so just so you know, always start with private. You can change it later. Okay, but by the way, I need to back up on that statement for a second. I can't turn a private into an org wide. I think that's kind of that rule there, but I always start with private. I don't create org wides. Only certain people within your organization should. Okay. But once I'm done making my changes in here, of course, I'll click done, saves my changes, and it's going to update it for everybody as well.